And I think the manager's job is going to be so much harder if you've got a hybrid or if you've got a pure working from home setup, because the relationships that they have with every member of their team are going to be so much more important in terms of giving everyone the opportunity to do everything to their best ability. Because again, you can't just walk past someone's desk and overhear them. I mean, yes, there's software where you can sit in and listen to their calls and things like that, but that doesn't have the same feel as just, oh, I was walking past and I just, I can go and stand behind you so you don't know that I'm there and I'm listening. I can give you really positive feedback, or I can give you something to help you, find it easier next time, or whatever. And I think a lot of managers, and not necessarily through any fault of their own, but because of the setup and the lack of value that is placed on people management within a lot of businesses, weren't necessarily very good at that before. And I don't think working from home has helped for a lot of people.
Yeah, that walking past your desk or the office and popping in as well, you would just get straight to the point. You'd kind of go, oh, can I just ask you a quick question? Whereas now you have to organize a Zoom call or whatever, and then you'll talk, because it's kind of rude to go launch straight into your issue. So for some people, they probably just spend their whole day going back to back on Zoom.
Yeah.
Whereas in the office, they may actually have had a window to do some work at their desk.
Yeah, and I was talking to someone yesterday and said those impromptu phone calls have stopped, because it feels like if you want to talk to someone now, you've got, like you said, you've got to schedule that time. And for me, some of the best ideas, the most creative things came out of a random phone call where somebody was doing something. Because if you don't, you don't pick the phone up if you can't talk. That's what voicemail's for. But if you did, and sometimes it'd be such a nice distraction, especially if you're doing something that you were struggling with at that point, and to have a distraction from somebody else. The way my brain works is thinking and talking are intertwined massively. I struggle to be creative sat on my own in my office, and I end up talking to the dog and all sorts. It still doesn't work. But 5 minutes of talking to someone else, or at someone else usually, and suddenly it's like it's unblocked in my brain. And that's where I think some of the challenges are for people that maybe aren't necessarily that creative by themselves as well. And I think thinking about that in terms of a hybrid model moving forward is, how do you fit in the time for people to collaborate face to face? Because again, it's a different, this has been great for us, but we both also know the energy level, if we were doing this in one room, it would be completely different.
It would be completely different. And there'd be post-it notes and lots more laughter. There's plenty of laughter, but there would be a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Would we get as much done?
I don't know, sometimes yes. Because that energy, I know for me, that energy charges my batteries and creates that dynamism for me. Sometimes I'm like, right, God, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to go off and do it now. But then sometimes it depends on how much fun we were having and when we actually went, right, okay, let's be sensible and do what we've come here to do now.
Mm. And I think a mix of both would work quite well as well, actually. Is getting together, I don't know, once a month and doing maybe a longer session where you plan out the work for the coming weeks and then doing this.
Yeah.
So, it's, and even trialing a few different ways to see what works for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that's come, certainly in the conversations that I'm having with people, is there's a lot more openness to saying, let's give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, or it does work. And if it doesn't work, then we just change this or we change that, or eventually we go, actually, no, that was a really crap idea, let's bin it. But actually another idea has come out of that, and that ability to kind of use that agile approach to things and think about, okay, who is this for? What do they need from it? And how can we best deliver it? And not being so tied up in it's right or wrong. but it's just new and different. And new and different quite often take a bit of adjusting and a bit of adapting to. It doesn't mean that they're wrong because they feel uncomfortable. It just means it's different.
Yeah. And then if you say lose somebody on your team, the new person that you replace them with might have a different way again. So this can be a constant evolution, really. There's no resting on your laurels. But when it works and everybody's allowed to work the way they are most productive, like, I mean, that surely that is an amazing benefit for individuals to feel kind of autonomous about their workload and their work schedule. But also for an organization, it can have great results.
One of our needs as human beings is that sense of accountability and responsibility and autonomy. And when you are, the whole foundation of coaching is that the person already knows the answer, and you get them to the point where they know what action is going to take them to where they want to be. And when that where they want to be is aligned with the business needs and business goals, they're going to do that, and they're going to do that with so much more engagement and enthusiasm and passion and commitment and all the things that we want people that we work with to have, and yet so many people don't have at the moment.